Good afternoon, everyone. It's Renee Tompkins, the Social Media Director at Layer Realty Partners, and welcome to the August Social Media Masterclass. We have a great session for you today. Today we'll be reviewing lots of great stuff. One of the main focuses of today's masterclass will be how to craft an engaging bio and some of the mistakes a lot of us are making with it, as well as some epic content creation tools. We'll also go over some fast and easy ways to create wow-worthy content, some tips for being more intentional on social media. I think a lot of us get caught up in the rabbit hole of the ads and reading comments. And so we do have some tips for you to be more intentional, some rituals as well. And then we're going to review some mindsets for success. I do have a recommended reading. As always, you know, I'm a bibliophile, love my books, love reading and learning. So I do have a great selection for you this month. And I've noticed some great happenings on social media. So I've got some kudos to share, as well as we'll leave some time for Q&A at the end. All right. So for today, I have some expectations as always, and that is to maintain a growth mindset. I know in some of the master classes, we do make suggestions that for some of you may seem somewhat uncomfortable, but this is for people looking to grow, keyword grow, their business on social media. So, and that is, will require you to be open to making results-based changes. So changes, behavior changes. And sometimes that is a little uncomfortable at first. But we're all about stepping outside of our comfort zone. In fact, so far that we forget how to even get back to it. So we want you to take notes and interact and ask questions as well as share. And then challenge yourself to come up with your own strategy. You know, as Stacey always says, you know, knowledge, you've got to take action if you really want to grow. So knowledge is it's one, has its own bucket, but it isn't really anything unless you leave with intentional based actions. So. All right. And then, so the first thing we're going to do is talk about engaging bios mostly on Instagram, but this can certainly pertain to Facebook, LinkedIn, and also the About Me on your website as well. But for a lot of it, we'll focus on Instagram. And I understand that the bio section on Instagram is about 150 characters. So that limits us. And so we're going to talk about some cool ways and some cool tips to help you craft an engaging bio. And so what is the big deal with the bio? You know, a lot of us get, you know, realtor, dog mom, you know, whatever. And I think we do miss the point with the bio. And really the bio is anybody who comes to your Instagram, your Facebook, your website. So again, this is bio/about me. It's a snapshot about, it's about you, but really it's so much more than that. I think a lot of bios begin with the word I. And so recrafting that, in fact, you know, one of the things I'll share with you is anytime that I was able to sign a listing in a competing realtor scenario, so where I was competing against other agents who were going for the business, and I would ask, do you mind if I ask you, what was it about me that made you choose to do business with me? And they would, usually the answer was, you made it about us. And you didn't come through the door and you weren't bragging or pompous or whatever. So keep that in your mind as you look to compose your bio and your About Me. So let's dive into how to do that. So first, let's understand social media is like a gift when it comes to anybody looking to grow their business. Here it says a lead generating powerhouse, and that is correct if it's used correctly. And a lot of that comes to mindset and who we're connecting with too, because those people can, let's face it, they do influence our experience on social media. So, all right, and let's learn how to make your bio convert people who are interested enough to visit your page into taking it to more of an intentional based, you know, people that want to connect with you. I want to connect with this person. So before we do that, let's talk about some common bio mistakes. And hey, I'm in here. So this is This is something that I had to tweak after, doing some research. I had to make some tweaks in my own bio. So let's talk about it. Number one, this is the most common mistake we all make, and I have done it in the past as well, is believing the bio is actually about you. So that contradicts, right? A biography, bio about me. But really, if you're looking to tap into your audience and really get with them on an emotional level, is you want to, you want to talk about yourself, but in a way that the focus of it is through the with them perspective. Say that 10 times fast, the with them perspective. So as you know, I've used this term in the past. With them is what's in it for me. So you want to give people a reason to want to reach out to you. And you can do that in your bio, even the 150 character bio. The number two mistake is being too general. You cannot be, I always say this, I cannot be all things to all people all the time. So in regards to your bio, you want to focus on your select client base. So whether that's a state, a county, just an area, or it could be New England, it could be Massachusetts, it could be, just Merrimack Valley. So whatever that region is for you. And then also that you are in real estate. So that should be obvious. And who's your focus clientele? Do you just work with sellers? Do you work with buyers and sellers? Do you also work with investors? So those things, again, and do you do commercial? Again, all of those things can be outlined in your bio. Here's a big one that I don't know that many agents even touch upon in their bio, and that is a value proposition. So the term value proposition initially to me brings like a page, maybe even more. Value proposition can go on and it has its correct place to do that. But in terms of your bio, especially on Instagram, one or two quick things where, again, that with them perspective, making somebody want to reach out to you. And you can do this easily by not focusing on being overconfident and arrogant, but knowing what you bring to the table, right? So if you are an award-winning agent, if you've been a top producer, perfect. That's deserving of a note in your bio. But again, watch the arrogance when you talk about you don't want to go on about everything about you. You really want to talk about how you can get the client happily to the closing table. And then if you struggle with words in crafting a really great sentence, try Chat GPT. That's an option in our Layer Agent Services guide. And you can certainly request what you need through Chat GPT and go from there. You can always tweak it if it happens to be too long as well too, but you can tell that AI how many characters you need as well. So the next mistake is failure to make it easily readable. I wouldn't write in sentences if you're talking about your Instagram bio. I would make it very easily. So bullet points, emojis, or hashtags. I used to use emojis, but now I just use the little star or just a dot or something to make it just easy to read. You can use, and you should use hashtags. So the word, if you have realtor or real estate in your bio, you should hashtag that, as well as I said, using bullet points and emojis as well. Skipped ahead. And then here's another thing that you definitely should do, and I'm still crafting on mine, is you don't want to be omitting social proof. And this is, again, that with where you want to give people reason to reach out to you. And social proof is one of those ways in which you can do it. So, and this is easy, obviously, for people who have been in the business, who do have client testimonials. Not so easy for people who are just new in the business. But I've said in one of my past master classes how you can certainly get sort of that character testimonial from people who know, like, and love you, that want you to succeed and that have maybe done business with you in other fields in the past. Again, We're not saying that these people have bought and sold real estate with you. That's not at all what we're going for here. But it is more of a character testimonial. So there are ways to get that, get those social proofs up there for you. And so how do you share these social proofs, whether they're client testimonials, character testimonials, whatever, is you want to add a link in your bio. And I'll go through this in a bit. I got to take a sip of my little herbal tea. Excuse me. And then this link in your bio. So I'll show you various softwares that you can use for this. But you want to make it easy for people to reach you, especially on social. People shouldn't have to be wondering outside of a direct message how to reach you. They shouldn't be having to look around for your website. They shouldn't be seeing that you're with Lair, but your email address still says you're with so-and-so brokerage that you're no longer with anymore. So make sure your stuff's updated and make it easy for people to reach you everywhere. Make it easy for people to reach you. You can also include this bio and link, not just in your bio. Well, yes, in your bio on Zillow, you can include it everywhere. So I would definitely set that up if you haven't already. And then another mistake, and this is something that I've talked about in past classes, especially when it comes to video content, but calls to action should be a part of everything that you post. So it should be in your bio. It should be in every post. So as you know, you receive weekly content, social media content as a Lair agent. And as part of those crafted captions at the end, all you got to do is just fill in your phone number, your email, you got your little emojis, your hashtags, it's all done for you outside of customizing your own contact information. But your calls to action should be on everything. And why is that? Like, so you think if you just do a video and you talk about the market, obviously people know it's you and that they can reach out. Wrong. That's not always the case. Some people, believe it or not, might be of the perception that you are a resource. You're a great resource. Thank you. Thank you for the great information. Now let me call my agent, or let me call the agent down, with the office down the street. It's so important to use call to actions, CTAs, because that subliminally plants a seed in whoever continues to watch and visit your page that you are ready and open for business. You're not just a resource for buyer, seller, investor tips, right? You're that agent that is ready and available for business. But they won't know that unless they're invited to the table, right? It's sort of like there's a party over here, but by not inviting them to your table, they don't feel welcome to sit down, right? They might stop and say hi, but they're not going to sit down unless they're invited typically. It's the same philosophy with a call to action. So how are you showcasing yourself online? And again, remember that your bio and about me section is the first place most people are going to go if they're connected to you on social, if they're on social, right? And that's sometimes even before checking out reviews. Where are people most of the time? They're on social media, right? More times than not, if they're even at work, they're on social media. They're on the train, they're commuting, they're on social media. They're at home, they're on social media. They're on vacation, they're on social media. So trust me when I tell you, and I don't think I need to convince you on this, we all get it. So that's why, what's the big deal about the bio? It's the visitor's first impression of you, right? It's like how we say, it's like how we say about curb appeal. It's that same mindset of a seller who doesn't see the big deal about the curb appeal. They're not buying the curb appeal, they're buying the house. But it's the buyer's first impression. It's the same thing. So focus on your bio and about me. And if it is all about you, then it needs a revamp. And let's talk about some headshots too. Said this before in some previous classes. Headshots, again, speak volumes about who you are and the image that you're projecting. So your headshot should definitely be professionally photographed. I know that there are some great photos out there that family and friends have taken, and we cherish them, we love them, and they're perfect for frames, perfect for the average post, but the actual headshot that you're going to be using on your Instagram business page, your Facebook business page, your LinkedIn, all of those accounts, even your YouTube, should be up close and personal. So it shouldn't be blurry. It shouldn't be, you shouldn't be far away. And it should be projecting whatever that conveying message is that you want, whether it's I'm approachable, I know who I am and what I bring to the table, confidence, laid back, maybe your thing is you like to wear jeans and a sweater, whatever it is that you want to project, do that, but do it professionally. So your headshot should definitely not be your logo unless you are a team and your team is large. If it's just a team of 2 or 3 people, I would even say that your headshot should be then the 3 of you, or whoever, that small group of people. But if you are a large team or a brokerage, then certainly use the logo. Otherwise, go for the headshot. And then again, don't use any headshots that are blurry. So that might be pixelated, or it just, every time somebody looks at an image that you're sharing as a realtor, they're sort of silently interviewing you. You could use judging you, that's fine. But I do believe that people remember that stuff. So if their thought is, if they can't market themselves at a level that I would want my property or home marketed, you might not be in consideration for the job. So just remember that everything is a silent interview. And then also you don't want to project an unprofessional image or message. So, and I say this, like you might want to watch sort of the image that you are projecting. If you choose not to use a professional image on your social media and it's a public image, certainly just take that into account, that people will check you out on social media. So if you have images of you partying with martinis or in a bikini, or in it, maybe it all looks fabulous and it was the greatest weekend of your life, all good. But again, is that what you really want to be projecting to potential clients? Because that's how you want to see your audience, right? We have a lot of connections, and a lot of our connections are agents. And a lot of it's funny in the sarcasm, and we get it, it's funny. At the end of the day, though, you've got to remember your audience is silently interviewing you. And is that the message you want to be sending out? So is the humor appropriate? All right. Now, in terms of your user and handle name, they're both the same. They must be unique. So remember, when deciding on that, you do want something unique and something that is easy, though. It's not something that you have to spell out every time you have to explain it to somebody. And it should be consistent across the board if possible. So if you are a new user to social media, start off on Instagram first, because that's the channel that seems to have the most amount of users and limited usernames. So start off on Instagram and then develop it, that same username on Facebook. And then your display name, though. So once you have your username, which is the @ so I went with the real Renee Tompkins, because for me that was it was not out there, it was not being used. And I also didn't want to make it all about real estate. So that's what I went with. So my display name, though, is currently Renee Tompkins, and then the team and brokerage name. And that does not have to be unique, and it can have, more characters, and it's wise to use keywords. So I always say, if you're looking to grow your business as a Boston realtor, then the keyword Boston realtor should be part of your display name, Merrimack Valley realtor, Mass realtor, whatever you're going for. And then when you are picking the right category for your page, if you are using a personal page on Instagram and you haven't picked the business or creator professional option yet, I would change that up. So you do that on your phone and simply just switch it over from a personal in the settings to either the business or creator professional. There's really not a lot of difference between the two. They both give you analytics. You can run ads through both of them and you get the insights. But the difference is that through the creator professional, you get more, you get more subcategories and you do get more music selections. But with the business professional, you can actually say you're a real estate agent. So when people are searching now for real estate agents on Instagram, which more people are doing, I don't know that was a huge thing a while back, but more people are searching on social media. I think especially younger first-time home buyers and or sellers are on social. So this is where they are and now where they're searching. I personally chose to go with the business professional for my page. So let's talk about the bio links, because I'm a huge fan of these things. And I mean, even as when I am on social media for fun, I'm clicking on everybody's links to see what they're sharing. Especially, I'm into wellness. And so for me to get recipes and yoga tips or anything that makes it easy for me to find information, I don't want to be like spending hours looking for things or a lot of time. So these links make it so easy. And it allows you to showcase all of your, so what else can you put on there? You can put, you can link all of your social. So follow me on Facebook, follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on Twitter, all these pages. And then you can also follow me on YouTube. But if there are select videos that you want to showcase, maybe you have a stock video that you've done for buyer tips and another one for seller tips, and then a third one for investor tips. You can just simply link those videos if you choose. You can link landing pages if you want to have someone fill out a form that says request more information or request your free guide, or, it's really limitless. And then also visit my website, etc. So here are some of the options for link companies that you can use. And my favorite obviously is the Linktree. It is free and the most commonly used. They do have an upgrade account, which allows you to put more and do more with it. And you can even now collect payment through Linktree, I believe. So it's a great option. You've got Sprout Link, Hoobie, Links, Like Shop, and then Link in Bio, all of which are great tools and worth considering. And you can add now up to five links. And again, I really just say, don't make it hard for people to find you. They're on social. Let them create a way outside of the standard DM, which some people won't do until you've built that rapport with them. They want to have sort of a non-confrontational, so to speak, way to get in touch with you. And this makes it so easy. Reviews, that's another thing that you want to be linking in your Linktree or whatever option you choose to use. And this makes your bio, so with only 150 characters in your bio, the Linktree or whatever option, click and go, right? So this makes your call to action more effective, because not only can you now check out my website, you can check out my videos, you can check out my client testimonials, you can learn more about the buying, selling, and investing process. And we don't even have to talk yet. So as I said, it's comfortable, and that's what people want. A lot of people aren't going to DM you right away. They want to do this stuff first. So allow them to do it. And that's meeting people where they are. That's what I always say. And here are 10 pro tips to get your Instagram bio right. So definitely you've got no choice but to keep it short and sweet, right? The 150 characters, you're not going to even be able to go on about yourself. So, and then include relevant keywords as real estate, Merrimack Valley, wherever your area is. And then I would hashtag those also. And then definitely use a link in bio tool. This is so key. So if you don't have it, I would just recommend going to linktree.com. It's free. It's easy, so easy to set up. You can customize the colors. There are, as I said, there is an upgraded version, but the free one is great. And then you want to showcase your personality a bit if there's room. So if you are a lover of pizza, tacos, whatever your thing is, you're a dog mom, You love the beach, you can't get enough of the beach or whatever, say that. These are things that make you special and things that will help you build rapport with people who are like you, right? We talked about that in a past class as well. And don't forget to include your call to action. You don't want to be perceived as just a resource. You're so much more than a resource. You are a resource, but you want to be so much more than that, correct? So those are the things that the lack of call to action will send its own message, right? So, and then add and update your contact info. So if people don't know how to reach you, and the link tree allows you to do that. So there's an option for email, and it links all of your other social media, but one of the things is email. So somebody could email you formally through your link tree as well. And then add your branded hashtag. So and a branded hashtag is something special to you. So maybe your thing is, right sizing specialist or success-minded strategist, whatever your thing is, include that in your bio if space permits. And then make it skimmable. Don't make it a little paragraph. Make it each line its own thing with either emojis, bullet points, etc. And then use hashtag story highlights. So highlights are something that I will be adding to my own page shortly, and I'm so excited to do this. They're on our Teams page, and I love building them. So these are sort of the call out buttons right below your about me, your bio. And I always say, make them about the business and then about you or every other, it doesn't matter. But I would make one for buyer tips, one for seller tips. If you're doing commercial/investment, add one there. And then client testimonials. And then the other two I would definitely do for fun. So if whatever you love, right? If it's, I know Kara is great with her Wine Wednesday, maybe that's a bullet or as a highlight. She would probably have that. But, for me, it's wellness and books. So I love walking labyrinths. Maybe I'll add one for that. Those are all things that make my page fun and relatable to those that are into the same thing. And then update your bio regularly. So again, if you've got old contact information or you have no contact information, please update that. And if you find, again, that there's no space because of the 150 character limit on Instagram, then get that link tree going. I'm telling you, that will be huge for you. I love it. And then remember, again, every time you write your bio, and let me say this, as I said let me go back to the past screen, that you're writing your bio, you really just are at your wit's end about how to keep it to 150 characters. If you have to ditch one component of your bio, I would say, then ditch the personality. Include that in your posts, but ditch it in the bio. So keep it about call to action. Here's what I specialize in and what I can do for you. So it should have that with them perspective. All right. So when writing the bio, remember it's about people are going to look you up on social media. And who are these people that are going to look you up on social media? And trust me, they will, right? The connections could be the people you just met at your open houses. So chances are your business card should have its website, and your website probably links your social media accounts, which it should. So you should have a website. If you do not have a website, you certainly want to get one, and you can do that if you're a Layer agent through the agent bundle, through our agent services section of the website. But you certainly, there's a ton of options out there, but the best value, in my opinion, is the agent bundle that you get through Layer, which includes your customizable, fully customizable agent website. So definitely take advantage of that. Anyway, back to it. So when writing your bio, understand that the people that you meet at your open houses are going to be looking you up, and they're going to look for you on social. Why else would somebody look for you on social besides seeing your, they kind of want to see who they might be getting in business with. Think about that for a second. So even more important about the stuff that you post. And I'm telling you, yes, they're going to look you up on your professional pages, but I can guarantee you they're going to do a search for you on your personal pages to see what type of public images and posts that you're making. So these people will be your open house attendees, your any agents making referrals to you, out-of-state agents making referrals to you will check you out on social media to ensure what type of business, or excuse me, what type of agent they're referring their client to. And then again, client referrals too. So even though you have closed their business and they were happy with you, maybe there's been a huge shift and things have changed for whatever reason. Now they want to relook you up and see how you're doing and what you're doing. So again, they will do that on social media. Networking groups also, sphere of influence people, your friends, your past coworkers, your business affiliates. They want to know who and how you are behind the scenes, and what better way to check someone out than probably on social media. So again, anyone really considering doing business with you, and your bio should make them want to connect with you on every level. So, all right, let's get into your written bio, what it should include. Let's see. So it should define who you're making content for. So there should be no question about what you do and who you're doing it for. And then outline why someone should want to listen and follow you. So again, that WIFM perspective, and include calls to action. I can't say that enough. So every video you should introduce yourself on every video too. If your videos can be shared and watched by people who have never really been on your page, then you want to set that professional tone by always introducing yourself, even if it's a series, even if it's something that you might think, again, it's my page, why do I have to introduce myself? Because you don't know the viewer. You don't know their perspective and how many times they've seen your content or not before. And again, it always sets that professional tone, right? So definitely do that. And then something to consider is your online image is how people see you, right? So it's what they say about you when you're not in the room, and be sure you're projecting that image, that what you want to be known for. So as they say, don't, we're oftentimes our connections are other realtors. So we find humor in some of that stuff, but is that really the right image, or is that how we want to be projecting ourselves to our whole audience? And remember, as I said before, what stays on social, what gets shared on social media stays on social media, even if it's deleted, because people have their little trusted phones, their screenshots, right? And you don't know who's saving what. So all I'm saying is be very mindful about this stuff. All right, let's talk about tools to make content easy and efficient. All right, so, yep. All right. First one is the Video Shop app. This is a cool tool for video editing, voiceovers, speed up footage, fun. Scheduler is later.com. Easy to use, and we use Sendable at Layer as well. We like Sendable because it actually looks like a calendar, but Later is also a phenomenal tool. Here's a tool that you could consider using, and this makes it easy for you to stream on multiple channels, and that's StreamYard. So you can simply, as we are now, streaming on one source, but we are streaming everywhere. And then the teleprompter app for scripting. I have my own personal view on teleprompter app is to use it if it's something that makes it easier for you to get your video content out there. But don't use it as a crutch, meaning also take a look to say, okay, I've gotten over my comfort zone, or my discomfort zone, I should say, with doing videos, because you want that level of authenticity that I think some of the teleprompter apps make you sound a little too scripted. So you've got to really get use it for what it's built for, and that is to get your message down clear. Now incorporate some authenticity to it, because you don't want to sound scripted. And then I've said this before, I'll continue to say it, Canva and your Layer social media saves you a boatload of time and money. It's dynamic content that's provided to you every Monday with your suggested captions, your contact information with emojis and your hashtags, all done with your editable link through Canva. You have to subscribe to Canva in order to best utilize that content, the graphic, I should say. And the Canva is free for the initial, for the standard version of Canva, but I would highly, and I always say this as well too, I highly recommend the upgraded version. It's like getting this much, or you go to, it's what you get is amazing for the pro version. So definitely consider that. It's worth it. It's an investment in your business, and certainly a tax write-off that you should consider. And the mindset behind these weekly images is, yes, to save you time, but also to encourage you to follow a strategy. So some of those graphics, like maybe there's as I said before, there's a picture of a sofa or a room that you might not personally care for. That's not the strategy. The strategy behind those designs is to save you the time so that you don't spend, let me find something I like personally. You're going down a rabbit hole. So we got to, the strategy is to get you more intentional and purposeful on social media so that you can spend that time building real connections with people coming from contribution. So tap into the strategy, change them if you like, do whatever you like, but I'm just saying there is a strategy that goes behind that stuff, and that is to save you time and money so that you can focus on things that are more important. And let's talk about the prospective clients that could be reaching out to you. And typically these people reach out to you by way of social media. It could be a direct message, or they'll check you out on social media at first, definitely before doing that. And then your website contact form. But these are how people will typically reach out once they've done their research on you. So they've watched some of your videos, they've read some of your reviews, they've maybe downloaded a guide or whatever it is that you might offer. They could email you, text you, or phone you as well. But the reason I'm highlighting here the social media DM and the website contact form is because this is where we're talking about your bio and your about me. So this is why this type of crafting this message is so important. Right? So you want something, you want to take time on that. All right, let's get into 5 simple and fast content suggestions. And this is outside of what you're already getting every week with your 5 standard pieces and your 3 to 4 story or reels. All right, first let's talk about content suggestions when working with sellers. So if you have a listing coming on, this is like a home run for you in terms of content, right? Because there's so much opportunity here for you. Number one, you can do a pre-listing video property tour. And this is obviously once the contract has been signed, you have the exclusive right to market. So you now have the right to, with the seller's permission, do a pre-listing video. So this isn't a professional unless you hire the professional to do that pre-listing. But this is something where you are walking through the property, or maybe just standing out in front of it to give a little teaser of what's to come, highlighting the features. And this should be what's considered a short form video. This should be short and sweet. It's just more of a teaser. Maybe you're just standing in one room, but you should certainly take advantage of the opportunity to do that. And again, introducing yourself and ending with a call to action. And then you can also do Facebook ads once the listing goes live. We do get that as part of our layer advertising and media. However, certainly amp that up and increase that budget. And then you can do a video tour prior to the open house. And let me just say this, with the video tour and the pre-listing, you want to make sure that whatever room or whatever area you're going to be doing these walkthroughs, if it's the whole house, whatever, make sure it's ready. So if you are not the listing agent and you're hosting the open house for the listing agent, make sure the seller is aware you're coming by early, so a half hour early or whatever, to do your walkthrough. Make sure the house is properly lit. So lights are on, windows are, the blinds are open, the beds are, presentable. Make sure the house is ready for this. And here's another thing I would say. When you're doing these walkthroughs, don't have the camera all on your face as you're walking through the house. Remember, it's about the house. So you might do a quick intro with your, in front of the house or right at the front door or in the living room. And then you're going to flip the camera around. So you want it to be about the property. And then again, the same thing with the video tour prior to the open house. So that the open house is not busy yet. And then and here's another tip. When you're posting images on social media, use different photos of the property for each transaction post. So as you are introducing the property, and then you have an accepted offer, or you go to purchase and sale, or maybe you do another one for clear to close, whatever you're doing, use different photos, because unless somebody is completely on your page 24/7, they're not going to remember all of the deals. So this gives the perception that you're extremely busy. You're doing a lot of business, right? So don't always just use the outside picture, use an inside picture, and then use different rooms. The sold photo should absolutely, whenever possible, have a picture of the clients holding the sold sign, or if you've got one of those keys that are personalized, or a sign, and get one if you can. I know it could be hard depending on the situation, but if you can, get one with you in it. So have somebody else take the picture, if at all possible. Maybe you bring your child with you, or a neighbor can do that for you. But the big thing is the people with the sold sign. And another thing that you're going to start doing and implementing for success on social media is starting those ads. So we do get one as part of our value inclusives with Layer, but we also want to start investing in our business. You're about to get paid, right? So reinvest some of that money into marketing. And I will tell you, we'll talk about it in a bit, but they're a lot less labor intensive than printing, stuffing, sealing, or selecting postcards and all of that. So social media ads might be where you decide to put some of your money and reinvest it in your business once you get paid. And then also showcase that client testimonial and advertise that as well. That's your social proof that we talked about earlier. And obviously get the client's permission, because they'll probably see it. But you want to advertise it in and around those areas that you just sold the house in. We'll talk about a budget in a minute. Now for buyers, working with buyers. Here's some content suggestions: is to take and share photos after the initial consultation. So if you are meeting them at the office and you're not comfortable asking for them to pose yet because you just met them, okay, but maybe you take a picture of the table where you've got your guide set up, and you talk about, so excited to be meeting, or I just had a great consultation, could be before or after. And then also do sort of a scrapbook type thing, only on social media, where you are taking photos of the homes that you toured with them, right? So you can, when you are talking about the journey, the ultimate end of the journey, part of that emotional post that you can tap into is some of the photos, of the homes that you toured together, that, oh, this home wasn't right for them, this one wasn't right, this one was, so it really paints a more emotional picture. And then you can also, so here's a thing to consider, especially as clients can't always get out to see the properties, or maybe they're out of town, but they wanted to see a house and it meets all of, checks all the boxes. You can offer to preview it on their behalf and video it if the list agent / seller is okay with it. But you can do that. And then also say, listen, if it turns out that this house wasn't right for your buyer, certainly share it out there if it's okay with the list agent, because you want to help them sell the house, right? So I don't know many list agents that would not be okay with that. Usually it's the case that maybe the seller wouldn't, but even in those cases, it's minimal. So those are property previews where you can, again, utilize the market to help you share these stories of buyers. Just say, this is what you can get for, $650 in Tewksbury. This is what, this is what's available. As you know, there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, there's so many opportunities out there for great content. Just tap into it. And again, if you take the photo, you own the photo, but keep in mind, you've got to have permission. So, and then here's another idea. And I was just going to say, Dan Capra, it does a great series on the deal of the week, right? So these may or may not be his listings. The point is he's providing valuable content to people. So I would say definitely take advantage of all the listings out there. Obviously get permission to do the video, but get on that. That's epic. And then do a buyer documentary series. This was done by Sarah Lewis on our team, who started from the initial consultation, how excited she was and honored to be working with these buyers, and then the home search, right home, not right home, etc. And then offer, home inspection, sign contract, appraisal issue. It went through, and you really got to experience the full thing. And the best part at the end was the final walkthrough, and she got a client testimonial on video. I mean, it was just epic. So I definitely take advantage of that stuff. I mean, this is magic for you guys. And then you can even do that with a seller. You can get some creative ideas on how to do a seller documentary series. All right, and let's showcase the final walkthrough and closing. So this is, what perhaps a great agent is going to look for in the final walkthrough and what to expect, educating other buyers on that process as well. And then I always, I would love to see more agents asking for testimonials on video. This video is really more emotional, right? So think about it. If more people are checking you out on social media, yes, they're still checking you out on third-party websites as well, too. So always more powerful is to have more testimonials and more places. But if you feel like you can only get one testimonial, I would say get it on video if they're open to it. And then you want to, again, put your money back in your business and advertise your sold and client testimonial. But especially here, you want your sold buyers. They're emotional, they're happy. Get them in front of your, or get the sold sign or your wooden key, whatever, your plastic key, whatever you're using. But get that if it's possible. Obviously, if they're not open to doing it, at least then get yourself standing in front of the house, or get you in a room. Maybe you can bring a friend or a spouse with you that can help take some of these photos. So here's another content suggestion. If you're working with investors, a lot of this stuff is similar to working with buyers. But again, you're taking and sharing photos after the initial consultation or before. So it could be the conference room set up. You could be at Starbucks, Dunkin's, whatever. As long as it looks like you are advising people. That's what you want, professionally advising people. And then take your photos while touring properties with investors, again, to do that whole sort of scrapbooky post of the journey to success, if you will. And then you could do a before and after series of if they're a flipper or a renovator, you could definitely ask if it's okay to do a before and after. And what, why an investor, maybe they could do an interview series with you about why someone should even consider investing. if they're open to it. And then also, here's a strategy for you, is even if these investors aren't yours directly, but maybe they're investors of your team or your brokerage, start getting posts for investors in need of, we have investors in need of. People see you posting this stuff, they're going to say, oh, I didn't know you work with investors. I know, blah, blah, blah. So it leads, right? So find out who the other agents are in your office that work with investors and what they're looking for. You won't manifest it unless you step into it. You've got to get in it. And then benefits of do it, as I said earlier, like an interview, sort of, what the benefits of real estate investing are. You don't necessarily have to do that with the investor if they're not open to it, but also understanding what questions they asked you during the process, right? And then make a video series based on that stuff. And then also, as I said, the sold post and the client testimonial, but advertise that. So where you used to put your money, perhaps in GeoFarm mailings, which I'm not telling you to stop, but you might want to reassess the return and put it where more people are hanging. More people are hanging out on social media. So, and then let's talk about a recommended advertising budget. So keep in mind, this is an investment, right? You want to treat this as an investment in your business. So to maximize the return on your investment, you're looking to really spend at least $10 to $20 a day for 2 weeks. So that's about $280. And I can tell you, I've spent in the years before, I've spent a lot more on GeoFarm mailings. And although I did get results, the time that it took to print stuff, label, seal, go to the post, I mean, I just think of those days and I'm like, wow, remember when we did that? I mean, it took like all weekend to get this mailing together and out. I mean, here you're talking about clicks and a credit card, and you get your invoice, right? It's all tax writeable, tax write offable. Is that a word? All right. But here's a word of caution. Whenever you're posting something on any website, social media, never post photos you don't own or don't have the permission to share, right? You don't get any photos from Google, even if it's of the same development that you sold. You don't own the photo, don't use it. It's not yours. That type of thing. Think like that. And so always take your own photos, is what I'm saying. If you have buyers that you're representing, obviously take those photos with them if they're open to it. Same thing, once you have the exclusive right to sell agreement signed, take your pre-listing coming soon, what have you, photos. And then here is another way to market content is open houses. And I said this earlier, but especially, if you are the list agent, great. If you're not, another phenomenal way for buyers agents, facilitators to get content. And so this is, you want to create an actual event on Facebook and then ask your family, friends, and those that love you, like you, and want you to succeed to click interested in going to this event on social media. So their friends will see it as well too. So once they understand the strategy of doing it, which I think a lot of people do, I think they'd be open to helping you out in that way, but you got to ask. Again, it's that call to action. Say those, it's okay to say those things, ask for that help. And then create your short form video reminding people about the open house. So you're not only doing your event, but you're doing a video, and maybe that's a live video, even better, because then everybody on your friends list gets notified. And then you want to record your property tour of the open house 20 to 30 minutes prior to anybody coming in. So don't have your sign out front just yet, or you could, but then you're going to get knocks on the door, which will distract you. So keep that in mind. Decide what you want to do. I understand it would be a great shot to have. Maybe that's a picture shot and not necessarily part of the video. But I would consider not putting the sign out for the video because you just don't want the distractions. And photograph yourself in front of the house with the open house banner. That's, as I said, that's going to be your photograph, but your video really is going to be you walking through. And again, make sure the house is ready. That's why you don't want to be short on time. You don't want to be stressed. You know, you got people outside, blah, 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 blah. Just arrive in enough time. So at least give that 30-minute time. Don't put your sign out for the video, as I said. And then, in fact, I would even have a sign that I would have on the taped to the door. Welcome to today's open house. We'll start promptly at whatever the time was of the start of the open house. Please wait outside until, you know. So there was people, it's all about expectations. And then another tip for you here is if you have really loud, clunky shoes on, take them off for your video. You don't want to be distracting, you know, heels on hardwood floors or tile might not be the way to go for the video. If you have a cough, put a cough drop in your mouth. So all of these things, little tips to help. And then another thing is if you can photograph the crowd, perfect. Like a house full of people. Oh my gosh, today, guys, what an epic open house at 123 Main Street, or the street lined. I used to do that a lot. Once the open house got going, because I would have somebody else in the house to help me navigate the crowd. So some tips there. Here's something that I would recommend people get going with, and this is weekly live videos. So again, the advantage to doing a live video is everybody gets notified, that all of your connections get notified that you are live, which alerts them to tune in. And then if you do it on the same day and time, that's recommended because it sort of becomes something like they expect to hear from you. So it's kind of cool. So my tip here, though, is make it a time and a day that you're least likely, if you choose to do it, you know, on a recurring basis, that you are least likely to get interrupted so that you can stick with. So it becomes that time block that's non-negotiable on our schedule. So some content suggestions for your weekly live video, and that is especially now where things are sort of shifting somewhat, is your market update. I would do, you know, market updates are definitely something you could do weekly instead of monthly, especially now as things are shifting. Headline news, is a lot going on in the news, as you know, especially with the Department of Justice and the Realtor NAR. So that's something you can certainly talk about if you choose to, just to get some feedback on how people are feeling about that, or any headline news. Your rate update as well, tips and tricks if you have any to share, maybe homeowner tips and tricks. Always be sharing success stories, especially the emotional impact that it had. I can't stress that enough. That's really becoming that epic storyteller. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then home maintenance tips are also something you want, again, so the thing here is you want to have people coming to you to watch it, right? You don't always want to be talking about the market. You don't always want to be talking about one thing about real estate listings. You know, if all you're sharing is just listed, under agreements, and solds, and occasional client testimonials, we get it. You're busy, you're good. But that's not going to motivate or be that, you know, that's not going to have that with them to make somebody want to reach out to you. That's not enough. All agents have that. Where do you stand above the rest? What makes you special? That's what people are looking for. Believe it, it's true. And then you also want to do other things outside of real estate. Trust me, it should not be all about real estate. So local events, what's happening in your town, small business spotlights, affiliate interviews, you know, a local author, somebody who's, you know, anybody that maybe your local library can help you say these are local authors. So I would definitely look, again, it's all about the connection and coming from contribution here. And then definitely some pro tips to keep in mind. And this is important for people who record on the go. And the recording on the go is a thing. I get it. It's convenient. You're in your car. Why not make the, you know, most effective use of the time? But when you get busy and you can no longer do that, your videos are now off track. You're not posting video content anymore. So how do you avoid that? You do what's called batch recording. And I started doing this recently, where I now take 2 to 3 hours every Saturday morning before my weekend really starts, and I batch record content. So it's just 2 or 3 videos I try to do every Saturday so that I have them ready for the week. As I get busier, I'll probably do more, so I won't have to do it every weekend, but it becomes actually, it's my schedule's over there, but it actually is on my schedule. So it's highlighted in yellow, and that's something that I know is non-negotiable for me. That must happen. If I double up the work, then I don't have, I can choose to not do it next weekend if I choose. But this batch recording is key when it comes to agents who do get busy, who have that, slow, busy, or busy, slow. Right? So you want to have all of this, and repurposing content too. So if you shared a video series last year and it's still relevant, get it out there. Don't just one and done it, right? These things are, and that's why I always say, don't overlook YouTube either. Don't forget to put your content on YouTube. This is the #2 search engine that exists. So you definitely want to be putting your content on YouTube as well. And then here's another idea, is to partner with a pro. And so if you are at a property during the initial photo shoot, ask the photographer to take some photos of you in the house. If there's an upcharge and you work it out, whatever. But these are dynamic images that you can use in your guides. Again, if the seller's okay with it, right? But if the photos are great and they're print quality, why not? Right? So and then you can also take pictures of the photographer taking photos. So it's photo day. Look for opportunity in every single thing, and you're going to find it. All right. And always keep this in mind too. Share content that 100 people love instead of 1,000 people barely noticing or not noticing at all. Right? So that's why I say, don't make it all about real estate. Because once the transaction is done, you want to maintain that connection, right? So if your business page is all about real estate, I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to mix that up and decide what you want that to look like. All right, let's talk about tips to be more intentional on social media. This is something that I think a lot of us we go down a rabbit hole of getting sidetracked on social media. So these are some tips for you. One is to understand the difference between goals and intentions. I always, intentions to me are where it's at. It's definitely important to have goals, but goals are off, right? Goals are future goals. Some of them can be short-term goals, but life-changing goals tend to be in the future, where intentions are based on the present moment, and they're more focused on actions and behaviors today, right now, right? So I'm all about intentions. All right, let's talk about understanding and knowing your target audience. And so this is where we talked about a lot of us are connected mostly, right, to agents, lenders, people who are in the business. But understand that our pages should be attracting others to it, right? So that's why you want to also, yes, you want definitely to have dynamic real estate content out there, because that stuff speaks volumes, especially if somebody is looking to make a referral to you. They want to see your credibility, your track record, your success record. All of that is important. But to build true rapport, you want to also showcase things about your personality, other things that you're doing, giving back in the community, recipes, perhaps, hobbies, special interests, etc. These things definitely share a mix of content, because this will keep your clients that you've already just sold now, who get the real estate, they've just done it. They'll want to keep connected with you because you're sharing great content that's not just about real estate. And this is also what we talked about just a second ago, is be relatable. So when we, and I said, if you're your professional page is all about social media, mix that up, give some thought to that, because you want to also be selective as to what you are sharing and be comfortable sharing that stuff on a semi-consistent basis. Now, some people are, very private and don't want to put stuff up out there about their family on social media. That's fine. Maybe take then some pictures of your favorite dish that you just made and share a link to the recipe, or a tip that you picked up, on refinishing a piece of furniture, or, it doesn't have to be about your family. It could be about something else that you're doing, a gardening tip, etc. But again, incorporate some other stuff on your page. All right, let's see. Here we go. And also be an epic. Wait, did I miss the screen? No, I didn't. All right, I'm good. Be an epic storyteller. And I had a whole segment on this, I want to say months back, and there's books about it actually. Anytime I've shared a really impactful story about a transaction that was heartfelt, I would always get messages, same day, a few days later, even a month or two later, like, that story that you told about blah, 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 really touched me. And I did this to shed an authentic light as to what really happens during some real estate transactions. And that was my intention. As a result of that, I did get in closed business, but my intention was not to get business from this post. My intention was to simply shed some light as to really some of the challenging parts and emotional parts of a real estate transaction. And I did it authentically. As a result, things happened. But I would just say, become that epic storyteller, if for no other reason than to show authentically what really goes down sometimes. And then set daily intentions. Again, your daily intentions. So I'm not talking about intentions that you just give some consideration to. I'm talking about when we're spending time on social media, the intention should not be, again, if you want to be on for fun, be on for fun. That's all good. But I'm talking about when you are purposeful on social media to build your business. So you are now in a business building mode on social media. You're time blocking for that. So you want to have a list of people that you want to connect with. And if you don't, always be thinking, who can I connect with today? Right? And then set 3 action steps. So write down your intention. Who do you want to connect with today? And 3 action steps that you'll do to achieve that intention. So maybe it is someone you want to connect with. Maybe it is sharing an impactful story. Maybe it is going live. Maybe it is sharing a video, creating an event, whatever it is. Set that intention and then your action steps. And as you accomplish each action step, check that step off. It really makes you feel accomplished. And the more you're doing to grow your business, I'll talk about this briefly in a minute, don't be results based on this stuff. Be process and journey based. So it's all about the process and journey and less about the results at this point. Because I'll tell you, if you are so results based and you don't get the results that you want, or you expect that you should, you'll stop. Don't do that. That's not what you want. So another thing is to be purposeful, and that is to put your tools to work for you. We get an amazing CRM at Layer. Utilize that CRM, piggyback the CRM with your social media, and make notes in your CRM about your contacts and what they're going through so that you have a reason to reach out and deepen that connection. And you can do that by messaging, calling, a note, a pop-by, a care gift, a care package, or a gift, or just a customized card or a handwritten note. But put your CRM to work for you. In addition, piggyback it with your social media is what I'm saying. And again, no one likes a one-sided relationship, right? People add you on social media because they want the connection, and the keyword to focus here is social. So take the time, and this is part of being intentional on social media, is to react and comment on their posts, right? Imagine you walking into a room full of people and you're standing against the wall and people are walking up to you to say, hey, how's it going? And you're just looking at them. That is the physical response. That is the equivalent of not reacting to somebody's comment or post. Right. So again, don't do that. Algorithms love engagement anyway. All right. And let's see. Sorry, I keep going back and forth, but for some reason I'm skipping screens. And think of this, as social media can be one of the easiest ways to build and maintain authentic connection. So if that's truly what you want to do, if you want to connect with people, then social media is by far the way to do that. And again, be journey focused versus results focused, because I do think if you're results focused and you say, well, I didn't get any business from that post, I didn't get anything, then you're more apt to stop doing it. But it's not about that. You don't know how many people are seeing your posts and not reacting to them, right? So don't worry about the results when it comes to social media. Be very journey focused. And then another thought is, and this comes from James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits, which I'm just like, I love this book so much, is small changes often appear to make no difference until you cross a critical threshold. And this is it's actually called the Valley of Disappointment. And you sort of have to get through the Valley of Disappointment. The most powerful outcomes of any process are delayed, and you must be patient. But go through that Valley of Disappointment, which means I'm not getting anything. But don't focus on that. Focus on the journey. You are contributing to the new business development time in your schedule. And that alone sends out epic energy, right? And if you are a believer in manifestation, that only good things will come as a result. Just takes time. Not everything happens on our clock and, on the timeline that we demand that it happen and such. And then too often people attach success with expected results, and when they don't get it in their expected time frame, they stop. So that's why most people, when we talk about the art of manifestation, most people are not able to manifest their desires because they lose patience and stop, and they simply stop believing. So if you've gotten off track with your social media, maybe you have gone busy in your business, and hey, that's not a bad problem to have, which is why batch recording and maybe using an online scheduler, start implementing some of those strategies and tools. But here are some tips to get back on track. And if you've gotten off track again, think of, get inspired by those people who are crushing it with video content. So even if you're at a loss, and I don't know that you should be, I think it really comes down to not being inspired, because there's plenty of content out there. But you can certainly look to see what others are putting out there and get inspired that way. And then also put your own spin on it. Never copy anybody else's stuff. But you certainly can use the Lair social media captions and script it into a video. I mean, these things are great content ideas for you. And then again, recommit to being action and journey focused versus outcome and results focused. Definitely keep that mindset and be checking yourself on that mindset often. As a tip is to get an accountability partner. If you know someone in your office that wants to get on board with video, or just a social media, success on social media, start an accountability partnership with that person. Other agents in the brokerage as well, other brokerages, whatever. I mean, just networking with success-minded agents who want to grow their business. That's what you want to be doing. All right. And then also consider your connections. What type of experience do you want to have on social media? If these things are taking you off track with growing your business on social media, take a look. There are ways that you can change your connections without deleting them unless you choose to, because energies are contagious. So choose them carefully. You want to be with growth-minded, positive, grateful, successful, and inspiring connections. And then, everything has their time and place. So look through your connections and I love everybody. So I keep all of my connections and cherish them. And I'm grateful for that. So perhaps maybe that's the mindset shift that you might consider too. I don't know. All right. And then think strategically and see the big picture. Always be thinking, who can I connect with today? Coming from contribution, and think of your connections as a room full of people waiting to connect with you. I have some kudos to share this month. These are people who I've noticed on social media posting some great content, some great video content. Diana Paquette, Lita Phillips, Lily Dumont, Sarah Lyman, Cara Labonte, Dan Capra, Just Proventure, Olivia Paris. Is Sarah Lyman on here twice? She certainly is. She's a rock star, and I always see her on social media. She's very inspiring to watch. Kimberly Couplist, Jessica Quoto, Bridget Diorio, and Jessica Howe, or no, Jason. Sorry, Jason. You're Jessica now. Kudos, great job with your content. Keep that video, don't get off track, batch record, and always be looking for opportunities to share content outside of the box content, as well as the content you're getting from Layer. Wrapping up today's session with some mindsets for success. This is my personal favorite. I'm gonna make a t-shirt of this. It is lean in and level up. That is my mantra. That is my life mantra from now on. I love it. Excuses do not get results. So, and then it's out there waiting for you. Everything you seek is out there waiting for you. Just go get it. And you just have to be patient, right? And then focus on the process, not the results. Success is not an accident. It is a choice. So make that hardcore choice today. You deserve it. You are very worthy of it. And then look for the good in every situation. Seek the valuable life lesson in every setback. Look for the solution in every problem, and think and talk continuously about your goals. And everything happens. This is another big one for me, because this is proven true in my whole life, is everything happens at the moment of decision. So once you stop thinking about it, maybe wanting to do it, once you decide and commit to something, everything will fall into place. It will. My recommended reading for this month is The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. Great book. It's a classic. Obviously, you can see by the cover. Available on Amazon, and I'm sure you can get a copy through Barnes & Noble or your local bookstore. Any Q&A? I think, we are over time, so I don't know that, but I'm certainly here for any Q&A. I don't see any. So thank you so much for watching today. There will be another masterclass in September, so watch the Layer calendar. You can sync your calendar by going to layerrealty.com/training, so you never miss an opportunity to learn and grow. It was a pleasure sharing this time. I'm sorry I went over. That's how I get so fanatical about this stuff. So thank you again for spending the time with me. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you at next month's masterclass. Thanks.